Well, the day has finally arrived, and that is, of course, that we're looking forward to the 4th of July 2026. Yes, it is American Independence, but we are talking about the home front, and that, of course, sees the renewal of the Hollywoodbets July. That will be run as race number 7, and it will also be the start of Bipot 2. Now, why I really rushed to race number 7 and the Bipot 2, because that can be lost in translation, because there is also that quartet carryover going on to race 7, the big one, and it is expected to net or gross 10 million rand. Well, it is, of course, lots of exotics, and a man who knows a thing or two about exotics is a man to my right, whom I'm pleased to say he joins me once again. It is none other than Daryl Marie, and he's here not only to take us through to tomorrow's meeting in KZN, but he'll also be giving us his expertise when we get to the Highveld on Sunday. So, without further ado, Daryl, I have to come to you and say good morning. One thing I do know is that Durban will be poorer for the lack of you and me. We were there last year, but we're not there, unfortunately. But still, the race goes on, and I tentatively opened SA Horse Racing to see if any more scratching, is any more drama. So far, so good.
Yeah, it's really been a drama-filled week, hasn't it, Cess?
Yes.
But we look forward to a fantastic day's
Right.
racing filled with exotic carryovers. So if you get a portion of any exotic, I'm sure you'll be showing a profit.
I always follow you, believe it or not. I'm a big follower. And I'm going to ask you, which is the bet to really follow? You got 3 jackpot choices. You got 2 bipods. And why I stress the bipod, second bipod? Because with all the excitement of the big race, you can forget that you've got another chance to get involved in a bipod.
Correct. Funny enough, Cess, I'm going to be saying I'm strongest with my jackpots. Jackpot 2.
Okay, but I'm sure Len will stand by to join us. He is strong with Jackpot 1. It is, Len, a very, very good morning to you. It is the 3 of us in today, but it is you and Daryl who are going to give us your expertise. And, of course, we're going to go straight into bidding you a good morning, welcome, and straight into your thoughts on Jackpot 1.
Yeah, good morning, Cecil. Good morning, Daryl. Yeah, with a full card of 12 races, we've got 3 jackpots. So the first jackpot starting off in race 1. I've decided to go with the 10-horse Summer Stern as a banker, just to make it easier for the next 3 legs, because we're going to be struggling for bankers otherwise. Had he been better drawn, I would have made him an absolute penalty kick, but he is drawn a bit wide at 10. So if Callan Murray can get him well placed early on, and he's not too far off them turning for home, I think he will be able to run them down. He's got a nice turn of foot, and he's a 4-year-old that's on the up. So I've decided to go for him as a banker.
Thank you so much for that, of course, and Lucinda Woodruff doing so well in the KZN region with a small string. Would you concur? This is the likely banker for that first leg.
Well, we'll certainly be shouting at home for the weighted to win followers, Cess. I think numbers 8, 9, and if number 13 gets in, could play a role over here. But like you said, Lucinda's certainly on fire in KwaZulu-Natal. Song to the Moon and United Front are both lovely sorts, and if they appreciate the poly, they'll be there when the chips are down.
Okay, so to back it up, you've won 8, 9?
8, 9, 10, and 13, just if there's any more card changes.
All right, so that is the suggestion from the 2 gentlemen. And now we're going to be going straight into Len and his Bipot, which is starting in race number 2. And Len, let's start with you, because Daryl, he's got his thoughts on a Bipot as well. Let's start with you. You've gone wide, which I would go for that first leg. There's a form update, by the way, gentlemen. The 4 Grand Occasion ran recently. That finished 7th over a distance of 1,600 meters at Scottsville, and that was 3.95 lengths behind Educator. That would make it just last Sunday, and Educator, must be said, was very impressive. I see not part of your selection, the 4, 1, 2, 3, and 6. Pray tell, Len, 800,000 is what we're looking for that Bipot pool.
Yes, so look, I think it's a pretty open race, and we do have a couple of bankers later on, so I've included the 4 runners: Open Highway, Rollo the Viking, Please Be True, and Green Glow. I do think that we'll get through with those 4 in the Bipot.
Thank you so much. Right, let's come to you, Mr. Marie. Your Bipot, how are you doing? 1, 2, 3, 6, same thought process, except there's an addition, 8 Royal Sword. I'm surprised neither of you has gone with Brew, because I know Mr. Lafferty loves that horse and certainly has a form clear form that shows that there's a little bit of ability there.
Absolutely, except a few others are having their peak runs, whereas he's returning from a layoff. So that reason only I've excluded him, but he does have my respect. I've gotten with the exact same run as Len. I've just included number 8, Royal Sword, who tends to put himself in the race very early, so he should be able to overcome that draw, and he's super fit, so I've also gotten wide in the opening leg.
Okay, wide in the opening leg, but 1, 2, 3, 6 certainly are in both tipsters' thoughts. We then get into the consolation race, which also sees the start of the PA. Now, Daryl, the likely pool is the 2 million rand. There is Len's suggestion 2, 3, 5, and 12. Our first graded feature of the afternoon, a Magical Zulu Kingdom 2200. As mentioned, it is a constellation, the July constellation, so to speak. So those numbers, the 2, 10, 10. First time over this sort of ground. The 3 is Magical Verse, no stranger to this race. The 4 is 10 penny in the same colors as the 3. The 5, Imlens Yogduduma, who certainly has run into some great form. The further the better. And the 12 that is also in the board, Silks James Crawford Trains, Otto Laken. Right, Len, you definitely, if you were to fall out of the first leg of the PA, or if we has waited to win, certainly we need to some serious cleansing.
Oh, please don't put the mockers on me, Cecil.
Yeah.
I do think it's an open race with plenty and with chances. Look, the lightly weighted Tintin, had he run a better race at Greyville the first time, I would have probably gone along with him. But I'm starting with the 5 horse, Imalenzi Yoko Duduma. He ran a very good race over the 2-4 when he was trying the 2-4 for the first time. And I do think that he'll be right there in the shake-up. But there's plenty of competition. You've got Otto Lycan, Magic Verse, 10 Penny, La Pulga, and of course the 2 horse Tintin. So, let's not go out the first leg of the PA. Hopefully we can double or treble up.
I think so. I really do believe treble up could be the way to go. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 12. Will 10 see out the 2200 comfortably?
Well, the dam sprinted, won 2 races between 1200 and 1250, and I had a look at the second dam. Says the second dam won over 2000. If this horse is more effective over this distance, he'll probably go very close to winning. He just needs a little bit of luck in running, and he needs to settle. I've got Lens number 5, Emilienza Yokadaduma in. I've got Lens number 12, Otto Lycan in, and I've included number 10, La Pulga. I actually think he's a very nice sort, and I don't believe we saw him at his best last time out. I believe with a nice patient ride from Gavin, he could be doing his best work late. I've always liked the son of Pomodoro. So 5, 10, and 12 for me.
Okay, so that's an outlay of 480 Rand. And please be reminded that race number 3, our first graded feature proper, that is grade 3 Magical Zulu Kingdom. Race 3 is off at 5 past 1 rather. 13:05. Right, let's touch on the digital timings. 13:40 is the off time to the second grade 3, and that is a gold vase over the 3,000 meters. Well documented that the one curious girl is now scratching due to being reserved 2, who's now a feature in the July itself. Len, again, not taking too many chances here. 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We just have your pick 6 to discuss here, Len, and a very inexpensive outlay for a pick 6 of this nature. 882 Rand will certainly be following that with keen interest. Your first choice of what is an open-looking race, holding thumbs, evergreen, in the colors of the equally evergreen Black Knight, Gary Player.
Well, Cecil, look, it's again a tricky race, and there's ahead of the facts would be my narrow first choice, by the way. Then you've got Shoot the Rapids, Master Redutu starting to come to form, and holding thumbs. These horses have all beaten each other before, so it's difficult to actually pinpoint any one of them. So for that reason, I've included I've included 4 in the PA, but I've thrown in a couple of others in the pick 6 just in case. A horse like Titans of War's only coming in with 54, and over this 3,000 meters, this can tell that the weight difference over this trip, along with a couple of others. Douglas Dragon, he's trying the blinkers, and he's capable on his day, but a little bit unpredictable at times. and then Poet's Warrior, who's a strong front runner. Whether Gravel will suit him or not, I'm not sure, but I've included him in the pick six as well.
Thank you so much, Len. And now, last word from you, Daryl. We know that it is just Len's pick six up there. Your first choice, is it amongst those 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, and 11? And if so, who is it?
Well, my top two choices are their numbers 4 and 10. So let's start with number 4, Holding Thumb. Now, Holding Thumb says clearly on the new turf Carrier's Western Cape Stayers run, he's clearly held by a head of the facts because he's only a kilogram better off for 3 3/4 length beating. But in the 1900, I was very happy with that effort. Last time out, I thought it wasn't his best, but it was his second run after race. Now he's peaking, he likes to go forward, so I think he'll put himself in a great position. Whereas number 10 ahead of the facts likes to be given a bit of a chance, and he'll need things for himself to pan out smoothly up front, and he'll be letting down late in the straight. So remains to be seen if he'll get there in time, but he'll certainly be one of the finishers. So 4 and 10 for me, but I'm not against Len's line of thinking of
Thank you so much. Right. So the pick six we've agreed, and of course we're looking at 15 million. Carried over is 2 million. That pool is already open, so you can already start to make your preliminary pick six selections. You're not allowed, you're not stopped from doing 3, 4, 5, even 6. Let's get to that second jackpot of 3, and that starts in race number 5, and we step up as far as class is concerned. First of our 2-year-old features, this is the grade 2, a Musenet Golden Slipper. It's over the 1400 meters. Looks to be a race to be dominated by a horse that Daryl picked out quite some time back. We've got to give him his flowers, and that is LSB Toklas. I can actually remember the date. It was the 10th of May when it was due to run, and it did say watch out for this horse. But they met with a certain 3 Royal Tiara, and I wonder if it would be a suggestion for backup as exactors and swinger horses. Len, let's start with you. Your jackpot, bank at the 7.
Well, Cecil, firstly, I must say well done to Daryl last time for finding LSB Toklas. He made it a banker, and she duly arrived. And she won so well, so I've decided to go along with her again. I looked at that replay, and Royal Tiara was running on. She came from behind, but she seemed to get to her. And then I think LSB Toklas had a little bit in reserve. So for that reason, she should beat the horses that she beat on that particular day, unless something that she hasn't raced against, a horse like Too Fast to Fiesta can pop up or something like that. But I do think she'll be very hard to beat again.
Okay, so we've got bookended banker jackpots. That is a jackpot 2 rather. That starts leg 1, race 5, the grade 2 Golden Slipper. 7, and that is your banker in the first leg. And then race number 8, we've got the bank at 10, and of course, without even looking, that is double Grand Slam. Let's go out and see if Daryl does banker the 10. No, he adds the 6 in. Right, 2, 3, and a 7, and I'm glad to see that. Isn't that sounds low, Len? You banker after his bankering, he goes wide. And this time he's thrown in, I'm glad he's thrown in Royal Tiara because I've made that my first choice. But you've also gone in the Glen Cotson and Tudor Rose.
I have included number 2, Tudor Rose. Says, I was watching that Canterbost on the day of the races, and I thought, gee whiz, this filly looks to be something above average. And she came out and she got the better of Lennox. Now, Lennox's form line hasn't really stood up, but, she's unbeaten. She's stepping up to 1400. She could be anything, this filly. Take note that the blinkers are removed, but she needs to up her game. But I'm really keen to see how she goes. Now, Royal Tiara and LSB Toklas lock horns again. Last time out, obviously LSB Toklas got the better of her in the Debonair Stakes, but Royal Tiara was racing fiercely towards the back of the field, and this time around she's got a kinder draw. I just think if things really go well for her in running, there's a possibility that LSB Toklas finds her too good, but strictly on their last encounter and on paper, you have to be favouring the 7. So I've just played the safe route. I wouldn't be surprised if Alice B. Toklas comes home smoothly once again.
All right, 2, 3, and 7. So the 7 is a common denominator there. And then, of course, in the back, Daryl has added the 6, which we'll get to in a few moments. That is in race number 8, the prestigious Garden Province, won by the 10 double Grand Slam last year. And Mon Petit Chéri, second, is the other of the Daryl selections. That is the Jackpot 2, starting at 20 past the hour of 2. Let's go on to race 6, another of our 2-year-old features. We've got Len's suggested exacta. Before we get to Len's thought process, he's got the one as a banker in the win position there. That is his anchor. Vibe Check, who's done nothing wrong at KZN. Anything you would actually sort of deviate from, or you would actually sort of concur with there? Would you go Vibe Check as the one to continue in his winning ways?
He most certainly can, Sis. You know, he breaks well. He's got good gate speed. He's drawn 1. He's improving. There aren't much negatives other than he's taking on some improving sorts himself. Like the Cullinan's done absolutely nothing wrong. Red Spice is a lovely, lovely individual. You know, the horse that he beat last time out, Kazinyani, has got a tricky draw to contend with. But if they really go hard up front, he's going to be finishing. And then Prayers and Promises. We all know that Mr. Terry last time I said it's a prep run, and he's going to be ridden patiently. Like I say, things really could pan out for the back markers over here. So I'll make it tricky.
First time at Greyville, 2 runs at Scottsville, both winning runs for Vibe Check. And you've gone with Vibe Check with that good draw, the pole position draw 1 to make it a back-to-back victories since going through for the season. Anything else you can add as far as that second leg, which I think you would say that is just a template that is going on to race 7, Len?
Cecil, look, I mean, Vibe Check has done nothing wrong. He's unbeaten over the 1400, and I mean, he doesn't just win; he smashes his opposition. So, yes, it's his first run at Greyville, which is always a bit of a question mark. But
Okay, so that
in the pick 6, I've added in the 17. Now I know it's a reserve runner, but this horse is definitely above average. And if by some chance there is 2 scratchings in the race and he comes into it, I wouldn't like to leave him out.
Okay,
It's a horse called Coast of the Sun.
Coast of the Sun, that is Tini Prince Slew, that has had the 2 runs at Greyville. Now, talking about the 17, we've got 18 runners for the big one, and it also sees the start of Bipot 2. We've got your Bipot up on screen, Len. 1, 2, 7, 10, 11, and 14. So it's Vavane. Then we've got Regulation. The 7, that would be Wish List. Number 10, that is Native Ruler. The 11, Note to Self. And 14 also goes in there, I Salute You. So Peter Muscat given a chance to be a feature in the first 2 in the first leg of the Bipot. That is the story. Now, your first choice. I personally do like Native Ruler for some reason. If Note to Self and Wish List do fluff their lines, their stable companion, I think, is primed to take advantage. Len?
Cecil, to me, it's a very evenly balanced July field. With the scratching of some Star Major, it's sort of thrown it wide open. Although even with the 57, Star Major had me a little bit undecided. If I have to make a first choice, I'm going to go with the 11, Note to Self, in a very open field. And then my roughie for the race is the 1 horse, Isi Vavani. He's only recently been tried over ground, and he's doing well. So for me, he's a nice roughie to include in your bets.
Thank you so much.
All in all, I think it's a tough race.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Marie. Right, the 3, the 4 are both out of race, and number 7, they would have been features. Now, Daryl, your P Bipot has gone the 2 horses. 9-11. That is Viva's Liberté, who's finding a lot of shrewd support, and 11 Notes to Self, who I do believe is favored as we speak. I will have a look at our sponsors' website. Now, just give us a breakdown, and also just give us, for us cowards, if we wanted to add 2 more in there or 1 more, what you'd suggest.
Well, if you want to add 1 more, you have to add number 10.
Native ruler.
Yeah, of the older sorts,
Yes.
I'm favouring him.
I'm honored. I thought I was smoking something.
No, I'll give him a chance. I think in that WSB 1900 race, like I mentioned on the panel, that he knew he had a spot of year. So that was just as a prep, and he followed up with a lovely prep, beating Emilenza Yokaduduma. He might have been a bit rushed. I mean, 3 runs on top of each other, but he's my fancy of the older runners. I like Note to Self. I think he ran a little bit flat in that 1900, but I am favouring the 3-year-olds over here. I think Note to Self, now that Star Major and Happy Versa are out, he's the obvious contender. And then Viva's Liberté at the weights. I mean, he's an improving sort himself. I got respect for the filly wish list. Obviously, things didn't really pan out well for her in running in her last 2 starts, but yet she still got the better of her opposition. So if you want to add 2 more in, I'd suggest numbers 7 and 10, but I'm happy with 9 and 11.
Thank you very, very much. Now, just a reminder as we go to Len and his thoughts for race number 8, that race number 7 has that quartet to look forward to, and expected to reach 10 million, 1 million in the carryover, 10 million come at the race time itself, and 9 and 11 you could use as your floaters. But let's get to Len now, and race number 8, Garden Province. This is a race that has seen some great horses come through, and or fillies, and we are looking at a double Grand Slam. Rumor has it this could be the last time we see double Grand Slam on the track, Len.
Well, Cecil, I mean, she won this race last year, and I mean, she needs no introduction. I mean, she's an out-and-out champion. Everything they've thrown at her, she's just come up trumps. Okay, last time she was a little bit stiff in the SA Philly sprint where she got touched off, but I think she's going to redeem herself here. And for me, she's a solid banker. Yes, of course, she's got opposition from certain horses like Montpetit, Cherry. But I do believe that she'll come through again.
Thank you so much. Last word from Daryl as far as race number 8 is concerned. Just to confirm, this morning we've seen the scratching of the 5 Rodeo Drive. Just a word from you. I'm glad that Glenn has thrown in a horse that I think is going to be a talking horse as the next season goes by, Kukanov.
Yeah, she's really done well. She's just finishing behind the best. But yeah, we have to be favouring double Grand Slam. It's a pity about a draw, but Andrew Fortune in 9 says he should be able to just get over one off the fence at least with a bit of cover, and she is sensational. Very unfortunate what happened to her last time out. Hopefully she can set the record straight. Do, however, have respect for Montpetit Cherie. There's never much separating the two of them. And just based on the draws, she could get a smoother run in transit. So if double Grand Slam does happen to get an unfortunate passage, then Montpetit Cherie could be there to pick up the pieces. If you're playing trifectas and quartets, number 2, call me Gatrix. Don't leave her out, please.
Okay, in spite of the 1 kg turnaround in favour of double Grand Slam, it is Montpetit Cherie expected to come through and give a lot of cheekets per normal. Right, let's get to the 9th race. Last leg of what should be a very, very tasty pick 6. This will be the last leg, and last year a friend of mine had the field, and so he was already celebrating before they faced up. Here we've got a banker courtesy of Mr. Mayu, and your bankers are something that I always admire because they have a lot of thought, and more often than not they come through. But Buffalo Storm Cody last year in this particular race found who was it? I Am Giant, just one too good, or one of 2 or 3 too good on the day.
Cecil, no, he won this last year, unless I'm mistaken.
I think it was actually I Am Giant. Yeah. I Am Giant won this race.
Right. Anyway, look, I'm sticking with the class horses here, Cecil. Buffalo Storm Cody, he's done nothing wrong. He's proved himself that he's probably the best sprinter in the country. And he won from draw 9 last year in the Merchants. and he's got the same draw again. Not that that makes a difference, but he can. What I'm saying is he can do it from a bad draw. He went start to finish, and as I say, I'm sticking with the class horses, and I'm making him my banker in the pick 6.
Daryl, exacta horse, what did you go with? Yes, class, best rated horse in the country. Definitely agree with Len, best sprinter in the country. Again, as I said last year, this was just a stepping stone to bigger things at the end of the season as well.
Yes, so obviously this may be a prep into that grade 1. But he's got all the class about him, and if things go well for him, I can see him winning, Says. Obviously, only the weight got the better of him last time out. But the race isn't cut and dried. He's taking on some really, really nice individuals. Speedman is improving sorts. 1 hour in Vegas. I didn't like that inside draw at Scottsville for him last time out. I think he's much better ridden cold, and that draw didn't quite force him to be able to hang on to him for as long as possible. And if you're playing trifectas and quartets, Says, my sneak over here is number 15, Future Variety. I think he's had a great prep leading into this race, and he actually comes in here with a nice stall gate of stall gate number 6. So I don't know what price he is, but please include him in your exotics, number 15, Future Variety.
Thank you very much. Let's now move on to the last chance to get involved in a pick 3, and that is race number 10. But we're going to be focusing on the trifecta, courtesy of Len. Len, race number 10. This is a listed handicap over the 1,600 meters, a Premier Gateway International handicap listed. It's one Major Master, who is a scratching in race number 10, as well as the 13 Power and the Glory, which I think was scratched this morning. Muzieni now rides the 15 Land of the Rising Sun. And of course, JP's Palace. Where do you put JP's Palace as far as the trifecta? Not a chance this time, but how do you see it actually panning out this race? Draw, obviously, a factor.
Well, Cecil, yeah, JP's Palace drawn a little bit wide at 14, although it comes in one spot. But you know what? It is an open race, but I do believe that this was talk to the master. I mean, he's going to take some beating. He's done nothing wrong, and although it is his first run over this distance, he has won over a 1,500 before at Scottsville. So I do think that he'll take quite a lot of beating here. But if you're going to look past him, then it really does become wide open. You've got quite a number of horses. Better Man, Imposing, Captain West, Pay the Palace, the list goes on. But I'm using Talk to the Master as a floating banker.
Thank you so much, Len. Right, that is race number 10. So we've got the scratchings, Mr. Marie. That is numbers 1 and 13. Anything you can add to that?
Just in my Bipot, the second Bipot, I went with numbers 3 and 11, yes, Says.
3 and 11.
I liked what I saw from Better Man last time out when he was given a chance. I think he should be just better than midfield turning for home, and he's a lovely, lovely son of one world. I expect him to be staying on startly. And Captain West, I'm really keen to see how he goes for his new yard. I've always rated him, and the penny certainly dropped for him. He's ultra consistent, and if he's made any improvements under the new banner of Matt and Mark,
well, let's be military about this, the new regime.
Yeah. And if he gets some luck from that tricky draw, he could certainly fight out the finish. It says this is a cracking race. You even got Green Gateway in here. You've got a few others that are certainly going to win their races. So Pay the Palace, I mean, this is a top race.
Thank you so much. The 16, by the way, Ford Motion, as we move to race 11, will race with the cheek pieces on Paul Lafferty, jockey yet to be confirmed. Right, we stay with Len Mayhew's selection for the trifecta. Just before we get to Len's breakdown of his choices here at Daryl. Race number 11, a middle stakes over the 1,200 meters. And if nothing else, when I opened the card, I thought Tony is guaranteed one winner for Captain Salvi, but I may be off the mark.
Well, let's see how she goes. Like you said, sis, this is on the poly track, so she's yet to run on that surface. Horse like number 7, Warm Reception, who appeared to take an awkward stride. last time out. Could be better when run off her feet because she's got a tendency to over race. So coming back in trip is really caught my eye. So I like the look of number 7, Warm Reception. But this is a very competitive race. In my Bipot, I went several. I went numbers 2, 4, 7 and 9. So what? I don't know what you made of her, Cess, but you know, Gavin gets a great tune out of her, and she'll be given a chance. Obviously, she needs them to go very hard up front for her to be a finisher. So she does form part of my play.
No, she's at the Midas touch right now. That is Lucinda, and more power to her. Len, number 5, Lock and Key. If I tell you the amount of times I went for this horse, thinking the rating is dropping down, the rating is dropping down, the rating is dropping down, I gave up, and then I look at the computer form, missed racing, and I see was back to winning ways on the poly on the 17th of June.
Well, I hope you got money with her last time because she was 20 to 1 that day.
I didn't.
Oh, shame. Yeah, look, you know, she's always shown potential, and it took her a long time to get her next win, which was on the 17th of June. She loves the poly, and I believe now that she's back to her best, you know, she beat a very good sort last time, this is what it means. And now she's back with the fillies, so I really do think she's going to run a big race again. She comes in with a handy galloping weight of 53, whereas most of the field are in the 60s, 58 and a half. So I really do believe that she'll run a good race, and she could follow up again. So for me, she at 10 to 1, she's a good each way bet.
Okay, so that is a race number 11. By the way, number 11, Miss Walters is scratching, and Mr. Mark Duplessis visiting Jockey International Jockey Rides to the 13. Dark Matter, who races in the colours of our friend Preggy Sumasandram. Right, let's go to race number 12. And this is the curtain closer on the big one. That is 4th of July. Should be off at 20 to 8 with the running of the Metro FM Class 4. It's over the 1200 meters. You can take out the 5 Jean d'Arc as well as the 8 Ruby Rising. Form update, the 11 Call of the Karoo was a runner, and that was at Scottsville on the 28th, and was beaten by just under 5 lengths by Street Outlaw. Andrew Fortune is now rider, given the scratchings on the 13 and Wedding Vow, who will jump from starting Storgate number 8 for Lucinda Woodruff, and the 14 Isibulo, who will be partnered by retained jockey for the Hollywood Racing, that is Mr. Gavin Arena, and that jumps from Storgate number 5. Len, a last word on your selections, which you have actually put in a lot of work. 12 races are no joke, 7 are no joke, 2, 3, 6 and 13. Who is the first choice in that foursome of runners there?
It's difficult, Cecil, but I've got to go with the Cape Town filly, Claire de Lune. You know, she's very consistent. She's got some good Cape form. And although it's her first run on the poly, I think she will be the one to beat. You know, she races up handy, and it could even suit her, the poly track. The dangers to me, obviously, are the 2 Scarlet Starlet, 3 Siberian Winter, who also loves the poly, and the 13 Wedding Vow. Unfortunately, she's drawn a little bit wide, but she does come in 2 places with the 2 scratchings of the 5 and 8. So for me, Claire de Lune, the one to beat.
Curtain closer, and if we're still running in your Bipot, what have we got again? I actually took the numbers down there on the front of the computer form. How many have we got here to see us through?
I went with 4 runners and a scratching to double up with the toad favourite, number 6, Claire de Lune. My concern with her, Cess, is she's been racing on a sticky Kenilworth 1200 meter track, which is quite a testing surface, whereas the poly tracks over 1200 is extremely quick. So, however, in her favour, she does have gate speed and she does have a lot of pace. She could be staying on in the latter stages, but I'm a little bit wary about her. Give her a chance though. Scarlet Starlet, very unfortunately what happened to her in her second start. She could be way better than her current rating. And I've just included numbers 13 and 14, the reserve runners, who now come in with quite favourable draws, and they're in good form. So let's see how they go.
Well, I can tell you, Mrs. Marie and Mayhew, nobody would be throwing mud at you if things go south. I've been at a July where things have gone really, really south. That year with Yardarm and all those Woodruff favourites. Len, do you remember that year? It was the 10th year of South African independence, and Santa Claus number 10, Gray's Inn, won that July. That's the only thing I remember, apart from the fact it was my first July.
No, I do certainly remember that day, and it was a disastrous day for most. Anyway, let's just hope tomorrow's a much better day.
Are you going to be at the course?
No, Cecil, I won't be. No.
But wherever you are, as always, we wish you Godspeed, and we look forward to catching up with you sooner rather than later and break a leg tomorrow. In the meantime, as I bid Len farewell, I look to my right, and the man who's again had a very, very busy time of it for this particular weekend, and as every time that we have racing for Waiter to Win, is Mr. Marie. What sort of July are you looking at? The meeting itself and then the race.
No, I think the entire day is very competitive. Like I said, I think the July itself is going to be dominated by the improving 3-year-olds, maybe Native Ruler, Isi Vivani as the older ones. But was that meeting that you're talking about with Yardom, did Candidata Roy run there with Mark Khan?
Mark Khan, a Candidata Roy. And I always remember that Dominic Zaki, believe it or not, was one of the few Joburg trainers to actually have a winner in one of the 2-year-old features. That was National Spirit, I think, won that day. It was nearly carryover pick 6, but carryover PA. I think it nearly got to carryover. But as we go forward, we look forward to it. We've still got PE racing to come through. And if things go south on Saturday, look out for Daryl's selections for Sunday. But for now, thanks very much to the entire team who put this whole production together. Without them, it wouldn't work at all. We'll see you soon.